Aruba, Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take ya to Bermuda, Bahama, come on pretty mama, down to Key Largo, Montego, baby, why don't we go? Oh no, I did it again.
Yes. Yes, you did.
Sorry.
Do you even read the script anymore?
No, not really.
Okay, whatever. Roll film! Hey there, Internet. It's me, Major Plothole, bringing you another episode live in front of a film studio audience. Today's topic is a very broad term, the Caribbean Islands. There are over 7,000 islands, atolls, reefs, and other stuff in the Caribbean, with roughly 28 countries claiming at least one or two of said islands. So why do a history on the islands? It's not really a direct history of the islands. In fact, doing an entire history of even one of these fascinating tropical paradises would be a ridiculously long video. So we're going to list off some snippets of a few interesting islands and tidbits of information for your viewing purposes. This video is to help bring to light many unsung countries of the Americas, as well as give younger viewers an idea for the next time their teacher requires them to do a report on a country. So, here we go. 35 of the 42 million people living in the Caribbean make their home on the islands of Cuba, Puerto Rico, and the island of Hispaniola, which contains the countries of Haiti and the Dominican Republic. Because each of these islands has their own storied history that deserves its own in-depth explanation, we'll be going over them at another time. Instead, we'll be focusing on some of the smaller islands that make up the remaining population of roughly 7 million people. So let's start off with a little island that changed hands more than any other island in the Caribbean. The twin island nation of Trinidad and Tobago, which is nestled just a little northeast of Venezuela. Tobago is actually just a little island off the coast of the larger island of Trinidad. Between 1498 and 1797, Tobago was traded between the Spanish, British, French, Dutch, and the Duchy of Courland, and in some cases several times back and forth. The two islands weren't grouped together until 1889, and in 1962 Trinidad and Tobago were granted independence from England, and in 1976 they became a republic. This little country is the third richest country in the Americas, right after the USA and Canada. It's the home of steel pan drums and limbo. It's also known for its carnival, and is the birthplace of calypso, soca, parang, and chutney musical styles. It is also home to over 400 species of birds and 100 species of mammals. Their military special forces unit is top-notch and is one of the most respected in the Caribbean and the Americas. In the Olympics, 9 athletes from Trinidad and Tobago have won a total of 12 medals, with the most recent being the gold medal for men's javelin in 2012. And now, we move on to St. Kitts and Nevis, another dual island country just like Trinidad and Tobago. St. Kitts and Nevis boast a population of a whopping 46,000 people. That's roughly the same size as the city of Grapevine, Texas. St. Kitts was discovered and claimed by Spain when Chris Columbus was doing his thing. The first English settlement was in 1623, followed shortly by a French settlement. The two settlements joined together briefly to declare war on and eradicate the local Kalinago tribe, when it became evident that the Kalinago had plans of massacring the entire European population on the island. Then, the island basically became a prize in just about every war fought between France and Great Britain for the next 150 years. Every time there was a new war, the island would change hands until it was solidified as British territory in 1783, which it remained until it got its independence. St. Kitts is affiliated with FIFA since 1992, averaging a kind of mediocre but not too bad for a country of less than 50,000 people. And as of June 2nd, 2016, they're currently ranked ahead of Canada, rating in at 92 out of 209, which, again, is pretty cool. Though they are united in name, Nevis has tried a couple of times to vote for secession away from St. Kitts. As the federal government of the country is located in St. Kitts, oftentimes many things that are required to be administered on the other island are often overlooked. In 1991, the headquarters for the Nevis police force burned down. The police actually had to operate out of the burned out building for a while, until the Nevis local government managed to raise the resources to rehouse the police force. Now, switching gears, let's take a look at the island of Montserrat, nicknamed the Emerald Island of the Caribbean. Montserrat was this dinky little island that was used mostly as a source of cash crops by the British government, though all the farming and original colonization was mostly done by the Irish. And eventually the British used the island as a place to send Irish political prisoners that they had forced into indentured servitude. These indentured servants worked the fields alongside African slaves. The Irish indentured servants taught the African slaves how to speak English, complete with their own awesome accent. They married and had awesome little babies with Irish accents and African skin tones. In 1989, Hurricane Hugo devastated the island, sending back its economic growth. Then 6 years later, in 1995, the island's volcano erupted and turned the entire southern half of the island, including the capital city, into a modern-day Pompeii. Its economy was devastated. Half its population was relocated or emigrated away, and while it's finally starting to get back somewhat stable levels, it's still pretty gnarly. The only good thing is that the tourism industry picked up quite a bit after the volcano went kablooey. And of course, we can't forget the Bahamas. What's the Caribbean without the Bahamas? In 1492, Columbus... Seriously, I'm getting tired of hearing about that guy, but it's true. He accidentally discovered these islands too, apparently. Well, at the time of Columbus's landfall in the Bahamas, a group of some 700-odd islands, they were populated by the native Lucayan people. The Spanish didn't really care for the Bahamas, but hey, free labor. So they kidnapped the Lucayan and forced them to work on their side of the island of Hispaniola, which is now present-day Dominican Republic. From 1513 up until 1648, the islands were deserted until some English colonists from Bermuda settled on the island of Eleuthera. They became a British colony in 1718, and after the American Revolution, the British resettled a large number of American loyalists in the Bahamas. It also became a haven for freed slaves. Today, the descendants of said former slaves make up 90% of the population. The Bahamas got their independence, though they're still part of the Commonwealth, in 1973. In 1864, the governor of the Bahamas reported there were 29 islands, 661 cays, and 2,387 rocks in the colony. With 80% of its food being imported, the Bahamas relies heavily on their tourism industry. That's why, when we think the Caribbean islands, a lot of times we think the Bahamas first and foremost. With over 700 islands, or island-like geographical locations, it does, of course, have its weirdness. In the Exuma district of the Bahamas, a district consisting of over 360 islands, rocks, and cays, there is a little place called Pig Beach, or Pig Island, as some like to call it. What is Pig Beach? Is that like the Bay of Pigs? No, nothing like that at all, because this actually has a beach full of pigs. Now, the problem is, no one really knows how the pigs actually got there. Some say some sailors left them there with the intention of coming back to eat them after they got fat from the local flora. And either the sailors forgot about them, or maybe they were delayed, or whatever. Others say that the pigs survived a shipwreck and swam there. Others still insist it was just a giant gimmick to attract more tourists. And the History Channel, well, we already know what they think happened. So yeah, it's 4 island nations within the Caribbean, just to get you started. What do you think about the islands? Which is your favorite? I have my opinion, but I'd like to hear yours, so feel free to drop me a comment, and don't forget to like and subscribe.